So you're looking on YouTube and you see all of these different trade patterns and setups, but you don't see someone executing it live with their commentary during the moment. Well, today you're gonna see that. I actually trade two different stocks and lose on one and win on one. And I had no clue that was gonna happen, but you'll see my thought process, what I was thinking, how I was approaching on stock, and it was AMC and VERU. I was very confident on AMC. Matter of fact, I thought it was gonna be a really good trade, which is why I was recording the trade itself, but it happened to be a loser. And it sucks to lose. I did not enjoy it, but I enjoy sharing that with you so you can see that we all are gonna take losses. And I see this every day talking to so many traders on the show on every Monday and Wednesday when we interview successful traders. So I'm hoping you can see this too and give you some inspiration and motivation to keep pushing forward, because this is very, very hard to do. The second trade that you'll see is VERU, and VERU actually worked out very well. And I wasn't sure if it was gonna work out quickly, right? I had no idea it was gonna work out quickly. I thought it was gonna be about 2-3 days, kind of a swing trade idea. So I am holding some of the position, only about 16% of the position now for a swing, but for the majority of it, I already covered it and took it for a gain. Here's the thing, when you watch this video that I'm about to share right now, you're gonna hear my commentary. This is live in the moment, what I'm thinking, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And there's gonna be times where I cut out just the fluff of just so much time elapsing because I didn't do anything. I just sat in the position for a long time. Instead of fast forwarding an hour of footage, I just cut that out and get right to the part where you see me executing. Now it is a little bit long, but I promise you, you're gonna get a lot of value out of this, especially the loser and especially the winner. So I hope you enjoy this, and if you do, please share the show with another friend, colleague, because we're doing our best to provide great content for you. I want to take this time to say thank you to our sponsor, Cobra Trading. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers, and I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be the Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show. So AMC is my main watch. We have this downtrend line, horizontal resistance. We do have support right here, which would be a profit target. So I like an entry at the 1850s. That'll be 25 cents, 75 cents reward. And half of that, you know, is like 30 cents, 35. So I can do half size right away, which is pretty much what I think I'm gonna do at 1850. With a little wide risk at first. Actually, I might not do half size right away. Actually, yeah, I do like that setup. If I can get in at 1850, that'd be great. I'd be willing to do that with the stop above 1885. So obviously, I'd like to stop above 1860, but I'm going to give it a little room first because, well, it's the open. So we'll see what happens there. I'm also looking at VERU. Not really super interested in shorting it yet, but if it starts to pop up here and fail, I'll take a starter with wide risk as well, probably off of this 18 area. If we get a pop, I mean, that's what I need to happen. CCL, I like CCL, but I'm a little not sure. Excuse me, I think it's in a channel. We definitely look more bullish, but I'm just not sure. Apple, I'm thinking it could become a long. I'd like it to dip down here and hold for me to take a position, because we're breaking above this resistance, we're holding above it. We do have some temporary resistance up here as well. So I'm hoping we can like kind of test this level, and then I can get long and maybe take some profits in the 170, 170s. So we'll see. That's about $1.50. What is that? Like more than $1.50 of upside. So I'd be willing to take that. Since I'm not too sure about CCL, I'm going to take that off for now. BBBY. I really love for this to come above 18, which I would start to take a short position up here, but I just doubt that's going to happen. Roblox, I'd love to take a short on this. Right now, what I see is a downtrend line with a nice horizontal resistance. If we can get that, I will take a position, preferably this area. It's 45.90s. I'd have to take some profits at 44.50s or 44.60. I'll take a starter up here if it pops. AMC is going to be my main focus. So is Apple. Apple, I'm just, it's starting to move up in the right direction here. Might have missed that entry. I wanted the open to drop. Now, if we like fell here and start to reject it, look at that. That rejection, I don't know. If that rejects pretty hard, I might not be willing to take it anymore. So I'll let it do its thing. I'm going to focus on AMC now. AMC, I'm going to start off with a little bit smaller position than I thought. I'm going to start off with like a third size if we can get this push. And if we show some type of resistance up here, then I'll hit it with more size. But market hasn't even opened yet, so I'm gonna let it do its thing. What I'd love to see happen is it hold this level, and then if it looks weak, I'll start to add quickly to half size and then maybe to full size. I need one more push. Now if it just pulls back here, I will start covering at the 1770s. I'll have a cover at the 90s because that's just like the obvious place to cover some, because that's where it held. But now what I like to see is it pop up and show any type of hesitation, and at that point I'd hit it again. quite possibly with full size. And we got Apple pulling back, which is good to see. I would love to see it pull and hold. At this point, I think it's more of a short, but so I'm not going to touch it. I'm a little conflicted with it, is what I should say. I don't think it's a short. I just think it's like conflicted. VERU, I'm hoping it can pop. So I do like that this popped and kind of failed up here at the 1850s, but it's only been 2 minutes. So I'm going to wait a little longer. And if it just tanks, then it just tanks. And I'm done with the trade. Definitely my first profit target's here. I'll take most of it off. And then, you know, if it looks weak, I'll hold it for a bigger pull, but I doubt it. Roblox, no pop, so not touching it. VERU, I'm hoping it can pop. Apple is holding. Here comes the AMC pop. To full, but I'm gonna stop out on that position at 53, just the ad. So I'm really only risking like 10 cents on the ad, but I do feel like it's given some signs that, you know, we failed up here, pulled, popped again, failed, pulled. So I'm just gonna give it a shot. So I covered that ad. I'm not sure why I put the ad with the stop right here, but I made a mistake. I should have did 58. That's okay. I'm gonna be quick to add that back if we start to look weak again. And now that stop is gonna be 1859 on the ad. And the ad is a big ad. It's double my position. So at this point, I'm feeling a little bit more confident about this move. So I'm going to move my entire stop to 1862 or 61. So just slightly above. And at this point, I would love for this to start to pull. And if it does, then I'll take a piece off at 1820s just because. Well, no, actually I won't. I'm still going to hold to my price target. 1820s could be a good cover of like maybe a baby size just because I'm wanting to cover some at low a day. So I just covered, I'm in 1R right now, and I covered, let's see, 6% of my position. So not much of a cover, but enough to make me scratch that itch to cover. Now if we get a pull to 1790s, I am going to cover some more, but the majority would be in the 1780s, which I will cover about half there at that point, just to see if it's going to melt. And if it starts to melt, then actually I'll cover a little more than half. And if it starts to melt, then I will hold that little piece for it to continue. But we'll see. If I go back to VERU, VERU's looking like it's weak. See, I don't like this. So I won't be buying this dip unless it holds nicely. Because to me now it's just, you know, still short. We just like wicked twice. And if we break this, I wouldn't like that. So I'm going to stay focused on AMC for now. We got my stop just above high day. At that point, You know, and I'm not even though I size for full size, it's a little wide. So even if I get stopped at high day, it wouldn't even be a 1R. So I have room to add if I feel like I should. But for now, I feel good. I feel comfortable with this position, and I'm not going to add. Right now, I'm just trying to let it work because it looks like it's working. And I have a cover here still because this is where it pivoted. That's the last pivot point. And it's a small cover. It's pretty much another 6% cover. But I have a little over half of my cover right here at 80s, right above the pivot that I think is important. And then I'm going to hold about a quarter of it to see if we can get further. Okay, so at this point, it's popping up. So I have two choices. I can either add on this pop, or I can get out. And right now, it hasn't hit my stop, so I'm not getting out. And this could be holding a level, quite possibly. But at this time, I had a cover here at 1794. It wouldn't have been a big position. I'm just gonna let this trade play out and stop out above high a day. And you know, right now, small risk. I may even be willing to add some more shares, depending on what happens on this pop here. This could be an opportunity to add here, especially if it pops up in this 1840 area. If we show weakness, then I'm going to add a little bit more risk, and then with a tight stop above high a day, and we'll see what happens. I mean, right now my stop is at 61, so I'm giving it a little bit of room. But you know, this kind of move is the kind of move that makes me want to cover now. And you know, sometimes it's going to work out. So I'm just going to be patient. Definitely don't like this, but I see it as an opportunity to possibly add. VERU, you know, I wanted to short this on a pop, but we didn't get that. And it's quite possible we'll get that later. So I'm going to wait. AMC still looking like it wants to, you know, push higher. So we'll see. And I'm going to let it do its thing. So I'm looking at VERU again, and I'm thinking at this point, it could become a good short at 15. At the same time, though, I'm just not convinced yet. I really want it to pop high. Like, I want it to come up here. We haven't had a real bounce. And this is the first real bounce. And so I'd like it to really pop. See, you know, it did just kind of wick out and flushed. So it could still be a play, but for me, for now, it's not. I mean, I was wrong, and it did not work. The good news is we got VERU popping. So I'll take a small position first. And again, I'm looking at the 18 levels. But ideally, if it starts to look weak around here, I will take more of a position with tighter. So I'm going to watch this right now. This is more of a bigger picture idea. This first, did it just halt? Or did my computer freeze? Oh, I lost internet connection. And there we go. So it halted up. So at this point, what I want to see is if this halts down. Like if this opens and looks weak, I'm going to start hitting it. And ideally with a wider risk, like maybe still the 17, $18 range. So we'll see. We will see. We just pushed up to this area, 1670s. Had some failure there. And then now what I'm looking to do is if it starts to pop up here, like I said, I will start to take more position. And so now I'm gonna let this play out. I'm still stopping above 18, giving it some room. But if it starts to look weak here, I can start to add more. But for now, I'm going to be patient on it. Let it do its thing. High a day is 1750. Plenty of downside on this thing. This is more of like a swing setup. Look at this. It's up quite a bit from 6s. So $10 a share. You could argue it's a breakout. Sure, 100%, but I see it more of a potential short squeeze with a reversal. If it pops again and looks weak up here and looks like it's failing, I will add with a tight stop on the add. So my plan for this is to really just let it work. It's a long-term kind of trade. Currently my average is 1670, so I'm up here. I'd like for it to pull back down here before I start covering anything, because big picture we're up from 6. I think we're on the back end of this setup, especially with this high day. I may be willing to adjust my stop now to high day at this point, because we hit this at 10:30 and we're about 30 minutes in. I'm going to give it a little bit more time just in case, but for the most part I'll already be stopping about 1750. So about $1 risk. And if this can start to pull though, even low a day or even here 13s, that's already $3 a share. So that in itself would be worth it. I would cover a piece at this 1450 area zone, 14. I cover it for like the $2 gain, just a small position, very small. Like a 1/6 of my position for $2 gain, so 1467, which is like right here. Which is actually a 15% of my position. So after this fake push here and shove, it gave me more confidence. I have an add up here. If it pops, I want to add more, risking high day. All of my stops now are adjusted to high day. And my first profit target is still the same. I still want to take some off at the 1468 level, which it looks like I may be able to do that here soon. And at this point, I feel like high day is the main stop. So I'm okay if I stop out above there. And I have a little bit more room to add, which is why I'd love to add at the 1640 area. So we'll see if we get that. I may get a cover here right now. We'll see if that happens as well. But now my stop is defined very clearly and it makes perfect sense to me. I love how it dropped and then stopped right above my cover and then popped. But I'm gonna keep my cover there, we'll see. Now my cover's at 68, it dropped to 70, so 2 cents away. You could argue, why not just move it up? I could, but typically when I do that, it goes there anyway. And it's just a small cover, so it's not going to change anything. I still want this to pop. If this can pop, I do want to add some more shares, especially if we can get a nice little pop here. So as I mentioned, I covered some slightly above because it did hit my cover. You can see here if we zoom in. It hit my cover right here, but it didn't cover me. Like it hit it and then wicked. So I covered a little bit. That same position, 16% right here. So, you know, $1.80, $1.90 a share. I'm fine with that. And still holding for the move. Still have an ad up here. Hopefully I can get that ad. But for now, I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of the day and let it play out. You can see my executions up here. And just make sure, you know, these are short positions and covering. This right here was a baby entry and coverage. I could realize that I was being antsy pre-market. I don't like to trade pre-market, so I just covered it right away. I ended up covering, as I mentioned, more than half my position here. And now I'm holding 16%, actually almost all my position. I only have 16% left for the fade, so we'll see. No longer gonna add, just gonna let it play out. At this point in the trade, I'm letting it play out. Yeah, we do have a double bottom kind of here. And if we zoom out a little bit, you can build a case that we have somewhat of a trend line, a channel forming. Ugly channel is not the best. I mean, I think it's better if we did it this way. That's better. So until we break here, it's really not backside over all the big picture. But I'm still going to hold my position. Only have 16% left. And stop is high day. And the reason I'm keeping that is because I'm just thinking big picture. We're up from 6. And this could be the candle for the first red day. If you look at previous red days, this one is similar as well as this one. So it's something that I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm hoping that we can close weak. As long as we close under 1750, I'm holding. And even if I get stopped out above that, it's still a great trade because I covered all of it right here at $13.68 for $3 a share. And that was, I covered 16% of my position right here. And then, excuse me, I'd say, my math is terrible, but 50% at least, or 60% right here. And I have 15% left, which I'm holding for currently, hopefully a fade. So we'll see what happens. Let it play out. So I ended up holding that position as planned and for a big picture move. It may stop me out in the long run, but overall, the day trade worked out very well. The long-term swing trade, we'll see. I think it can still come down, break this 13 and go down further, at which point I'll be willing to cover in the 11s, maybe 10s, which is potentially $7 a share of reward, $1 risk. I like that risk reward. I'm willing to take that overnight. And that's what I'm going to do. So hopefully this made sense. Hopefully if you like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the channel with someone else because we're just trying to bring great content for a lot of people. Take care.